the dishes in the dishwasher. Can I go over to Dave's now?
Jamie, have you finished your chores?
Most of them.
Most of them?
I just told you.
You put the dishes in the dishwasher?
Yes, it was exhausting. Can I go over to Dave's now?
You cleaned your room?
I cleaned it last month.
You're supposed to clean your room every Saturday, Jamie. How many times do I have to tell you this? Just do it now, and then you can have the rest of the weekend to hang out. Don't sass me. You can have the rest of the weekend to yourself to hang out with your friend Dave.
Fine.
That's my word.
There's a mess. Mom! It's gonna take forever.
Better get started then.
Where's my clothes? Alright, put up my rubber chicken. Hey, when does that simply go without a rubber chicken? And put my feet. Yeah, that wasn't so bad. Mom, I finished cleaning my room.
Well, now that's much better, but
What?
you forgot to make your bed, Jamie?
Why do I have to make my bed? I put the dishes in the dishwasher, put away my clothes, all of them, put up my rubber chicken. Why do I have to make my bed if it's just going to get messy again later? Explain to me why.
You know, that kind of reminds me of the story about your grandmother when she was a young kid.
Grandma was a kid?
Of course, why wouldn't she be, Jamie?
I figured she sounded out old like you.
We were all kids once, Jamie.
Are you sure?
Oh. But you see that picture down the hall? The black and white one? That's a picture of your grandmother when she was about your age.
Yeah, what was that?
It was in the 1950s.
Oh, wasn't she looking happy?
But I already washed and dried the dishes. I dusted my rock and roll records, and I put away my roller skates.
Yeah, I have roller skates.
Yes, you do.
The grandma video games? Rubber chicken?
I don't think so, Jamie. No.
Gee whiz, Mom. Why do I have to make my bed?
Her mother just tapped her foot and said, "That reminds me of a story about your grandfather when he was a young boy."
Why is he dressed like that?
The clothes were different back then, Jamie.
Back when?
Well, let's see. Your grandfather would have been, your great-great-grandfather would have been a teenager around 1910.
Whoa.
And he said,
I already fetched water from the pump and I dusted off the phonograph.
What's a phonograph?
it's like a record player.
Oh. What's a record player?
Let's get back to the story.
I even picked up my spinning tops, my jack, and my train. Pray tell, Mother, why do I have to make my bed?
His mother just smirked and said, "That reminds me of a story about your great-grandmother when she was a young girl."
And what decade is she from?
The 1800s, the Old West.
Cool.
We don't say cool in the Old West. We say yeehaw!
And that young cowgirl was as bothersome as a badger, and she said,
I already drew water from the well. I dusted off hospital, and I rounded up all the cattle in the herd. Why do I have to make my bed?
her mother scrubbed her wood floors, and then, wait for this, then she said, "That reminds me of a story about your great-great-grandfather. He was a boy."
How far back does the story go?
To the 1700s, about around the time of George Washington, Ben Franklin, the American Revolution.
Lincoln?
But in the middle of all that, there was a boy. That was your,
I already hung my breeches out to dry. I dusted out Father's printing press. I even picked up eggs from the hen house and vegetables from the garden.
That sounds like a lot.
Why, it most certainly is. So why in the new world, after all that, do I have to make my bed?
his mother just fluttered her fan and said, well, anyway, his mother fluttered her fan and said, "That reminds me of a story about your
swaying back and forth in her bedroom like that?
She's not in her bedroom, Jamie. She's a pilgrim. She's on a boat, traveling across the great Atlantic Ocean.
Get on with the story, please. I am getting seasick.
And that girl was as cantankerous as an old sea dog, and she said,
I already swam to death. I dusted the captain's microscope, and I picked the rats out of the pickle barrel.
That's disgusting.
Why do I have to make my bed?
her mother just clucked her tongue and said, that reminds me of a story about your great-great-great-grandmother when she was, no, grandfather, my bad, when she was a young boy.
Huh. This back in medieval times with kings and queens?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, was our ancestor a knight?
No. Jamie, he's a peasant.
Oh.
But very adventurous, sounds familiar.
I already sheared the sheep and milked the yak. I dusted off Sister's loom. I even planted the wheat and picked up all the pig droppings.
That's worse than the rest of the pickle barrel.
We use it to stoke our fires, but it's really gross.
No kidding.
So tell me, Mama, why do I have to make my bed?
His mother just put her hands on her hips and said, that reminds me of a story about your double great-great-grandmother when she was a young girl. And that girl was as thunderous as Thor.
Oh, I know this one. We are back in...
Silence, scrawny boy. This is my scene.
Vikings.
I already stoked the fire for the sword maker. I dusted off the sacred blowing horn. And I picked up the broken spears. And I patched up Father's war wounds.
So no games to pick up or put away?
Games? What are games?
Guess not.
Her mother came out and she just burped. She said,
I shall tell you, my obnoxious Viking daughter, that your grumbling reminds me of your great-great-triple-great-great-grandfather when he was a teenager, and he was as ill-tempered as a caged lion, and he said,
Make way, gladiators coming through.
Gladiators. All right, this is what I do now. We're back in ancient Rome.
I have much to do. I have to unclog the aqueducts.
What are aqueducts?
It's how we get our water. After that, I had to dust off the statues. And even after all that, I have to pick up after the gladiators.
It sounds hard.
It most certainly is, especially when the lions are involved. So why in the name of Jupiter do I have to make my bed after all that?
his mother just brushed the coat off her tunic and said, that reminds me of a story about one of your ancestors when she was a young girl.
Where are we going now? How far back does this story go?
The Stone Ages. 30,000 BC.
Are there dinosaurs back then?
No. They were extinct, but there were all sorts of unruly creatures that humans had to deal with, like woolly mammoths, reindeer. And that cave bomb was the first in history to ever utter this phrase.
so easy, caveman could do it.
Said the cave boy who, made his bed fixing first.
Oh!
Said the Roman boy who smoothed in his wool blanket.
Oh!
Said the Viking girl who fled fleas out of her caribou hide.
Oh!
Said the medieval boy who pulled everything up nice and straight.
Oh!
Said the pilgrim girl who fluffed more goose feathers into her pillow.
Oh!
Said the Virginian boy who pulled up his wool blanket. Said the cowgirl who had more hay into her mattress.
Oh!
Said the 1910 boys who tucked in the corner.
Oh!
Says your grandmother who made everything tight and neat.
Oh.
My son said.